How to build bigger arms with calisthenics. How to build bigger arms with calisthenics. Coming out. Yo, always cracking my crew members of the Gain Trade Express. How you doing today? If this is your first time here on this channel, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications, because if you're new to body training calisthenics, then this is your home of body strength training, so make sure you hit that button and turn on that bell so you don't miss a single video. First things first, when it comes to building bigger arms with calisthenics, the first thing is pretty much compound exercises, because you know, really when we look at the 80-20 rule, like compound exercises should make up 80% of your workouts, because these multi-joint exercises is what makes up pretty much most of your gains, because obviously when we're using several muscle groups at the same time, when they're all working in synergy, it's very easy to overload that exercise. Therefore, of course, if we can apply progressive overload by recruiting more muscle fibers, then obviously, you know, we're simply gonna make more gains that way. And really, when we're looking at compound exercises and we want to focus more on the arms, starting with the bicep, right, of course, instead of doing more like pull-up variations or like basically exercises with our palms pronated, we may want to focus on flicking the wrists around and doing more supinated pulls, right? So I'm talking about chin-up variations with vertical pulling and supinated rows for your horizontal pulling, because of course that's going to stimulate the bicep more and help you peak out the top portion of your arm. And then when it comes to the triceps, pretty much making that horseshoe effect, if you know what I'm saying, trying to make the other part of your arm look like the shape of Italy. Obviously, with compound exercise with calisthenics, there's three main exercises. Obviously, for horizontal pushing, that'll be like any type of pushing variation based on your strength level. And then for vertical pushing, there is inverted pressing, so pike push-ups, handstand push-ups. And then on the other side, which is really good for the triceps, is dips. And so when we look at all three of those exercises, if your goal is purely increasing the size and strength of those triceps, for your compound exercises, you may want to focus a little bit more on the vertical pushing side, particularly when you're working through a full range of motion such as dips, because of course with horizontal pushing it's more chest dominant, whereas vertical pushing, the triceps do work to a larger extent. So with this part of the video covered, like focus on getting stronger in your main compound exercises, and those biceps and triceps, they're going to be forced to grow pretty much. And so the next part with kind of similar, or well, it is related to compound exercise, but talk about the arms, is that obviously we can kind of manipulate the angle of it or manipulate the exercise variation. So obviously if we go from, let's say, push-ups to diamond push-ups, that's going to stimulate the triceps more. If we go from chin-ups to close grip chin-ups, that's going to stimulate the biceps more. And this part, like this type of concept, is something I have explained in a previous video of mine, which is related to growing bigger arms in calisthenics, which you can check out right here in this card here. And of course, like that can work to some extent, but I found that, you know, when you focus on those like main compound exercises and then combining that at the end of your workouts with, you know, what I want to cover with you is isolation exercises, where instead of, you know, really focusing on the major big muscle groups, right, when you really focus on pinpointing the biceps and pinpointing the triceps, obviously that's how you can get like way more volume and workload to both the biceps and triceps. To again, like combining like the compound exercise with the accessory exercises is really going to force the arms to grow bigger and stronger relative to before. And so when it comes to maximally overloading the arms, then like obviously we would consider then, you know, body weight or weights. And so with body weight, you know, with biceps, of course, curls, right? We would do bodyweight curls, whether that is with rings or a fixed bar. The same with triceps, or doing tricep extensions with your body weight. Again, that could be done on rings or on a bar. And again, I have done that in the past. What I mainly do, which is something that some of my clients who do direct arm exercise, we find that, you know, nothing beats, you know, a good set of dumbbells, because although the bodyweight variations, they can be great for those who don't have any access to weights, obviously with the use of external resistance, it's very easy to load it, right? And not only that, obviously when you're doing body weight kind of isolation exercises, it's still not really an isolation exercise to an extent of, like, obviously when you're doing bodyweight curls or bodyweight extensions, other muscle groups are still involved in the movement, particularly, you know, a lot of core stability that's involved in these exercises. So it's hard to maximally overload the biceps and triceps, whereas when you literally just specifically isolate it through the use of weights, particularly dumbbells, that's where you can really focus specifically on the biceps and triceps separately, so that you can maximally overload them to the largest extent. So what my best rule of thumb is for the guy watching this video, could be you watching this video who maximally wants to gain size in their arms with calisthenics, is you want to focus 80% of your efforts on getting stronger in those main compound exercises, really mastering your body weight, unleashing your body's infinite potential, and then spend about 20%, you know, towards the end of your exercise, or sorry, at the end of your workouts, doing some direct arm work to hit any weak points and really, again, maximally overload those biceps and triceps. And so yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this content. If you enjoyed watching this video, you enjoyed watching every single minute and every single second of it, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below that this video can have a good hand to you. And I'll be curious to know, like, what else, like, what do you want me to cover on this YouTube channel in the future? What are you currently struggling with your fitness goals, in particular with calisthenics, bodyweight training, or even nutrition? Again, comment that down below, and I may make a video for that in the very near future. And so, as that is enough for me today, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, my friend, and as a crew member of the Gains Training Express, keep moving forward.